We are live yet again, and we are very, very sorry for whatever has happened in that 10-minute period that we had for the dugout, because
15
huh?
15 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh, no.
5 minutes we just spent sorting out the issue.
Oh.
So what happened was that our great streaming software decided to go turtle, and that is why it hung, and we became from a video broadcaster to a podcast.
Yes.
So we apologize to our family members for that technical issue. So straight away to the topic, what we are discussing is today could have been day 4, but India ensured, Ash Anna and Yashasvi Jaiswal ensured that it became a 3-day test match.
Yes.
So this is the topic of our dugout is what are the positives for Team India. It can be 3, 4, 5. The first major positive that I and all of us agree upon unanimously is Yashasvi Jaiswal. 85 average in 16 matches, 16 first class games, 10 centuries and 2 50s. That means when he gets going, he can be absolutely magnificent. He can score big hundreds.
Yeah, daddy hundreds.
Yeah, scored a double century and a century in the Irani Trophy final. Did well in the previous edition of the Ranji and IPL. Now in Test cricket, one of the few Indian openers to score a century on debut. First ever to do it overseas.
Yeah.
First ever. And the basic thing is that, look, conditions were tough. We agree upon that. But does the quality of an opposition determine your outlook as to whether the knock was great or whether the knock was okayish?
It would if it's a very experienced player we're talking about, someone who's established, someone who you've seen perform against bigger opposition. Jaiswal is a debutant, very young. The reason, and I said this also, is that we wanted him to be playing this series is because we knew the quality isn't very high. So if he does well here, it's at least a sign that he's good enough to be here at the international level.
Yes.
Of course, there will be times where he'll not score these many runs. There will be opposition against whom he'll struggle. But at the very least, he's passed that first important test.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we're always talking about this, right? Of not rushing players to international, right? We're not fast tracking. I think this is the right step, play in a bilateral or play against not a cricket giant, someone like in Australia or England. Let the youngsters play against the likes of Bangladesh or West Indies, test them out there, and then kind of take them up the stepping stones. And I think for Yashasvi this was perfect. And if it was like I said, if it was some other player like Shane also said, then maybe we would have put them up to different expectations. But we've known that Yashasvi has performed so well in domestic, in India A, in IPL as well, and now Test cricket. I think we have a huge asset on our hands right now.
And the ultimate X factor, left-hander.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In
So
the
long
top
it's been.
order,
Yeah.
that too.
So long.
Yep. Shikharji, not since Shikhar Dhawan did we have a left-hander at the top, especially opening. So kind of if you look at it, okay. Prithvi Shaw also scored a century on debut against the West Indies
at home.
but that was in Rajkot. Okay. He did have a consistent run, but then in Australia and New Zealand,
Woefully exposed.
he was found wanting.
Yeah.
Are you fearful of the fact that Yashasvi could go down that way, or do you think that maybe the 2020 batch of under-19 cricketers are far more resilient than the 2018 batch?
He could. There's no two ways about it. But from what little I've seen of Jaiswal so far, he doesn't seem intimidated by pace bowling to the level that, say, Shaw has been. With Shaw, you note for a fact that's an obvious weakness. It was so bad a weakness or so obvious a weakness that Ricky Ponting was pointing it out on commentary when he was dismissed by Stark. That was bad.
And imagine, okay, you point that out, he doesn't know, he doesn't hear the commentary, but Shaw obliged.
Exactly.
He obliged. And Stark got him out in that same way, incoming, and also even Cummins in Adelaide, incoming, got him out. So that's why Shaw now is on the fringes, and if you can look at it in that Duleep Trophy final also,
he didn't really get many runs.
Mixed, 72, but he was the most among the whole host of other established players like Pujara, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sarfaraz.
Sky, I think, is having a horror run when it comes to red ball cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, he got beaten. Next ball was an edge, and then out, third ball. That was Suryakumar Yadav. He got a 4 though. But 8 and 4, 12 runs of 9 balls
In 2 innings.
in 2 innings. That's the problem. But Yashasvi Jaiswal, look, he got off the mark after 20 balls. Really had to face the hostile short one. Remember, West Indies were targeting short delivery at leg stump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the IPL, maybe with the Windies players having played so much, they realized that maybe this is a flaw that he's got. Maybe. But remember, pace bowling, he did well in the Under-19 World Cup in South Africa. South Africa assists pacers a lot. And he was, I think, the leading run getter there as well in 2020.
Just right up there, if not the leading run getting.
Yeah, he
right
was
up
one
there.
of them. So that is why Jaiswal, the way how he curbed his natural instincts, he's a naturally aggressive player, stroke maker. The pitch wasn't conducive for stroke making.
At all.
So already in his first match, one major thing is he's shown adaptability.
Yes. Versatility.
Adjustments you can make according to, if he wanted to be attacking, he chose the moment.
Yeah.
Which-
completely in his control.
Yes. And this is one facet which we have not seen because primarily we have seen Jaiswal either in the under-19 cricket team
Or
or
IPL.
in the IPL.
Where he's had to be going, bang consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the adaptability of Yashasvi Jaiswal and the way how he changed his game and got to a big score, one of the top positives from Dominica. The second positive is his opening partner and the
Rohit.
skipper. He has got, out of his 10 hundreds, 2 have only come overseas. One was at the Oval in the 2021 series, and if you look at it, 2023 now at Dominica in a tougher condition, albeit with bowlers who are really, you may say, I think West Indies, I think the bug has come to you.
Yeah.
In the previous slide,
Dropping catches?
Yeah. You
Dropping the ball?
You dropped the ball, you dropped the catch.
No, I didn't drop the catch. I took the catch. I just dropped the ball.
You dropped the ball. Second time.
Second time? Almost. Actually, this time I didn't drop it.
This time,
Yeah.
okay.
So either way.
Yeah, so that's why Rohit Sharma, what do you make of his knock? And supposing he has a good West Indies series, I like to get both of your opinions on this. He has a great West Indies series. This knock was excellent. Is he making the trip to South Africa irrespective of what happens in the World Cup of
Yeah,
2023?
think so. I don't think. I think the only way his Test career is ending is if he decides it's ending with Rohit. So unless he has like a torrid run of form, like next level bad, so bad that you can see he's lost his confidence bad.
Yeah.
I doubt you're moving away from him. So if he doesn't choose to make that call, I think he's going to South Africa. But with Rohit, see, he's one of those players where, yeah, look, runs are runs, getting them under your belt, great. But I'm reserving my judgment. Like again, nothing against him because again, even he got a nice 100 if I'm not wrong, not 100 per se, but he did get a good score in Nagpur.
Yes.
Yeah. A century.
He
got
did
a
get a
century,
century.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering. I was getting confused.
One of the
and that was a really.
difficult pitches, and he got a.
You know, actually, I would disagree. I think that was probably one of the easier pitches
No.
after. No. I'll tell you why. Delhi was worse. And don't
No,
even
I
get me started
that,
on
but
Indore.
remember that the
Oh, yeah,
batting
they'd done that
lineup-
whole-
No. The batting lineup from the other end was falling apart. It was Rohit who.
Yeah, they had spooked themselves nicely.
Yeah,
Australia.
it was
No, Rohit,
who,
yeah.
took responsibility that.
Got a good counter-attacking
Yeah.
100. Yeah, so with him, I'll judge more based on what runs you get in the future. Because again, it's great that he's got runs. That is one positive. But you know he can get runs against the West Indies in his sleep.
Yeah, he's got 3
Yeah,
centuries
yeah.
against them out of the 4
Leave it.
matches.
I'm leaving.
You have
the
done a
ball.
hat trick. Yeah, you have done a
I'm
hat
leaving
trick
the ball
of.
alone.
Yes.
For me, I think Rohit, as a captain, I respect him a lot because, with someone like an MS Dhoni, someone like a Virat Kohli, there was a lot of visibility to their captaincy, and we could see, there was a lot of attention on what kind of youngsters they were bringing in. Virat Kohli brought Siraj, and he was more fast bowler focused. Under MS Dhoni, we had so many youngsters. Rishabh Pant, a lot of. I
Yeah.
mean, if I sit and make a list,
You'll have to write a novel.
yeah, exactly. But Rohit Sharma, I think, is more of a hidden captain who likes to stay behind the scenes, and I think that's what's really great about him. And I think the Indian management is going to stick around with him. And for this series, I think that's what the most important part here is that he gets the confidence that he needs to kind of get back into the rhythm that he once had For me, I think those are the positives. Because look at how he's treating the youngsters. Look at how he's treating Yashasvi, Shubman. Did anyone else have, the kind of freedom to go up and say, I want to bat at 3 or, this is what I want? Because Yashasvi also in the press conference, post-match press conference, revealed that it was Rohit who would, push him really hard during the test match. And before the match, Rohit Sharma said something like, you have to score a century. If there's anyone who can, do it on his test debut, it's you. So if that's, how Rohit is treating his youngsters, I don't have a problem with having Rohit Sharma as a captain.
Yeah, I mean, see, Ashwin, I'll come to Ashwin, that's my third word, but with Rohit Sharma, the knock that he played, it kind of eased up the pressure on Jaiswal also.
Yes.
Because he was steady at the other end, he tackled the bowling, and remember, short balls and all doesn't trouble Rohit that much. But yes, he benefited from the DRS. That was one, because remember, Alzari got one to nip back in very sharply. And remember, it's that same nip backer that has troubled Rohit every single time in his 16-year international career. He hasn't overcome that. But luckily, the bowlers of this generation have not been able to exploit that.
The few who did only would end up choosing ICC knockout tournaments to do it.
Yes. I mean, 2019 was an exception. He got out to a ball that went away.
Yeah.
Henry did that. And so that is why I think this knock was needed for Rohit Sharma after all the criticism that came to him after the ICC WTC final. That was one. Second, a legend like Sunil Gavaskar also panning and criticizing his captaincy, that he was very, very disappointed and he expected a lot more. Now remember, Rohit's captaincy is going to go through the ultimate trial by fire in 2 events. Asia Cup and the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
This World Cup will define a legacy of a lot of players. Because the likes of Virat and Rohit all fed off MS Dhoni's legacy.
Yeah.
Now, when they had the chance to build upon that, sure, bilaterally they are the greats. Numbers are staggering. But in ICC events, they have not built upon Dhoni's legacy. And that is the problem. But sure, Rohit Sharma, the biggest positive, the knock he played, he was much more in control than Yashasvi, if you have to look at it. And fittingly got his second overseas 100. Now, the other opinion, the other positive that I have,
Ashwin.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt.
Perhaps he can fall into the category of Shane Warne as far as captaincy is concerned, the greatest captain that India never had, or maybe like for Warne,
Could be.
greatest captain that Australia never had on a consistent basis. Although Warne captained a couple of games, but only
Ashwin
ODIs.
never did, right?
Ashwin never did.
No,
He's captained
India,
an
no.
IPL franchisee.
Yeah, but even there was just
India.
one.
Yeah,
Punjab.
Punjab Kings. That's
Never
it.
India.
Yeah, so the variation that he bowled, the amount of purchase that he was getting, the accuracy, the greatest what if. If only India had backed their strength and played him in that ICC WTC final.
Yeah.
What if? And the quote that he gave, I was prepared that I will not play, but I was also prepared that I might get a chance. Is he like saying, okay, I get an impression that Ashwin is like, publicly he has to be cool about it. He can be a little blunt. But privately he must be seething.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy about it.
No,
And I wouldn't expect any player in his position to be happy about it, because if they were, they shouldn't be playing competitive sport.
Yeah, and especially after India lost. Because maybe if India had won, maybe somewhere it clicks that okay, maybe this was the right team that was picked, because I wasn't there and they still performed well. Maybe this was in written in the cards, but then the fact that they lost,
Yeah.
and to see how the conditions changed, and why was he left out? Because of the overcast, and it was never overcast after that first hour.
What overcast conditions?
What overcast?
And what
I
green
think that's
pitch?
what. If I was Ashwin, I would be going mad.
Mad. I mean, that was the comment. I mean, I was very interested with the comments.
Yeah.
I am thankful for all the lows, because then I can learn from that and I can only go higher.
Yeah.
But at this stage of his career, many people argue that if Ashwin was there in the team, perhaps the victory margin of Australia would have been lesser.
You would have at least then, if you did, you would have at least been saying that, okay, look, we backed our strength. We know what our strength is.
We
Yeah.
played with our best 11, and
Yeah.
that's the most. we
And
could do.
Australia were the better team any
Outplayed
given
us.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here, it wasn't just outplayed. You had the wrong team and you are comprehensively outplayed.
Yeah, you left a lot. in the
234
chance.
run loss, 210 loss, 210 run loss is massive.
That hurts to hear.
Yeah. It is nothing about it. But again, look at the way how he bowled. And again to a left-hander. How many left-handers did Australia have?
4.
Five. Out of that, 3 hurt you. Head, carry, Stark in the second innings. Khwaja and Warner didn't do that much of damage, but yes.
Warner's not doing damage to anyone at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, David Warner,
Except himself.
maybe the 4th test is his last chance alone.
Yeah.
Because then I
Could
think he's not getting his farewell in Sydney in 2024 January.
I don't even think 4th test. I think if I'm considering the kind of form Marsh
He is in the 11.
he's in the squad.
He is in the 11 also. I think Australia, they are saying Warner will make it to the 11, but there is no Green, only Marsh.
Oh, no Green. Oh,
No
there's no
Green.
Green. Then that means he stays by default. Because I think if Green was fully fit, fully available, then I think they would have taken the punt and pushed, Travis Head to open.
Yes, so that's why I think Green is not fit, so Warner will
He has to.
stay.
And somewhere Stuart Broad gets his celebrations ready.
Gets 18 and 19 potentially.
Maybe.
Oof. That means
That would be equaling the record, no?
Atherton and McGrath.
Atherton and McGrath,
Yeah.
19.
So again, look at it. Ashwin created so many records. 54 times he's taken the first wicket.
Yeah.
Then taking
Most
the
number of
wicket to
tens, if I'm not wrong.
for an Indian. Then also 34 5-wicket hauls.
Second
Staggering
highest,
numbers.
Second highest wicket taker.
700 international wickets he went by with a breeze that too.
Highest,
Yeah, so
most 5-wicket hauls.
There's a
I
lot
think
of
we
them.
went through them.
yeah,
It's
he's I
hard
think
to remember
only
at this
behind
point.
Kumble, Hadley and Vaughan now.
Yeah.
And then there's Murli,
Who's in a different category altogether.
which I think is never going to be broken.
No.
No, not happening.
67 5-wicket hauls, 22 10-wicket hauls, 800 wickets.
No, not happening.
Yeah, like Bradman's 1994, Murli's 800 has never been broken.
Yeah.
But they say if Ashwin plays for 4 more years, do you see him play for 4 more years?
No. Internationally, no.
Just test matches.
And with his back problems,
That's another thing. You have
Side
to remember.
strains and
he
back
had
issues.
injury issues also. And he is unfortunately a tall lad. And again, don't take this personally, any one of you, but not the most athletic in the world either. He has tended to struggle with that height sometimes. So the older you get, the harder that becomes to kind of overcome as a problem.
Yep.
So we know for a fact that when he runs also, he's not the quickest runner.
Yeah.
Never has been. But obviously age has slowed him down, so I doubt he's playing 4 more years.
Yeah, but Ashwin's bowling next level.
His
West
bowling
Indies-
remains great. His bowling remains great in the right conditions. Let's be frank.
But the Indian team management thought like you, Shane. He got most of his ICC, WTC cycle 21-23 wickets at home,
At home and in friendly conditions.
friendly conditions. So that will be something which is going against him. That is why if he gets picked for South Africa, will be a different.
South Africa, I think we're going to be having that same debate again.
Debate,
Because even
yeah.
I can recall even the last series in South Africa.
Yep.
He was in and out of the team. In fact, if I recall correctly, Jadeja, if I'm not wrong, played most of the test matches
played
that
most,
time.
yep.
So yeah.
Then now after Ash, I come to the next positive and a certain VK, Virat Kohli, seemed to be
positive for a lot of
absolutely enjoying himself out in Dominica. I mean, on the field, he had so many goofy antics. He was mimicking
Dancing.
somebody, dancing, having a lot of laughters with his teammates.
laying down on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, what was Virat Kohli? I mean, he was really enjoying himself. out
He was
there.
vibing.
But yet again, that knock of 76.
Yeah.
I am saying the positive for Virat is not his knock of 76.
It was the way he batted.
No, not even the way he batted. The way how he was on the field in Dominica. Chilled, either it indicates 2 things. One, personal milestones and records. Oh, I want 100. I think it really does not matter anymore to him. That is the one thing. Second, even if he gets out on 76 or 80 or 90 or 95, I think now it doesn't hurt him. Looking at the way how he was in the field, I mean, normally on his lean patch, he would be aggressive, but he wouldn't be smiling and goofy about it.
Yeah, I think he was very stressed about, the fact that he wasn't getting hundreds, or it had been almost 1 year.
More than that.
3 years.
3 years since he got a
1,000
century.
plus
1,000
days.
Yeah. So I think it was a lot of stress about that, but now we've seen that it doesn't matter anymore. And 76 is not a bad score.
Yeah.
Not everyone goes out and scores hundreds and 200s in a test match. It's just that something that doesnn't happen in every test
Gargi had
match.
said it on day one. Oh, everybody is getting a century.
No, I just said century for everyone. Let's go.
What do you call Oprah Winfrey style? You get a century. You get a century.
You get a
Everyone
century.
gets a
Yes,
century.
yes,
But with Virat, the only thing I will say is, how did he get out of that ball? I was like, what? That is probably the worst ball Rahim Cornwall bowled throughout the test match.
Yeah.
And it got him a wicket.
Yeah, I think something like reverse psychology.
It's like, I still remember there's that one ball which I remember Adil Rashid bowled to him.
Yeah.
Which was really like a ripper of a ball. Because
Leeds,
that was,
ODI.
Yeah, because that was like pitching on middle leg and it spun back, jacked back nicely. And I think Kohli's expression from that also kind of went
Oh,
viral.
it went viral.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was a really good ball.
Yeah.
Rahim Cornwall's off spinner, and by the way, his off spinners are very harmless. Again, I'm not, no disrespect to the guy. I'm sure he's a pretty competent cricketer actually, and probably should be batting higher up than where he does. For whatever reason, they keep sending Alzari Joseph ahead of him.
You disrespect quite a lot after saying not
No. I'm saying he should be batting higher up. This is the guy who opens the batting in Caribbean
Yes.
Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when he's bowling forward, he's very straight. Like with off spinners, normally you'll see an angle come in from that delivery, maybe a little bit of bend because you are allowed that flex. He's so straight armed and it comes straight like that, and he bowls it on middle and leg. And Kohli somehow goes chasing it and gives it to the. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That ball? Really? That ball?
Kohli did suffer that way against Todd Murphy, remember Nagpur?
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Strangled down the legs, although it wasn't bouncing, but he just
That was the
tickled.
worst ball actually, because with Murphy it was way down leg side, and he went chasing it and ended up like nicking one to carry. And I'm like,
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Kohli starting troubles. I mean, what happened in that? 2 chances. He was 36 of. He scored 36 runs, and the next 36 he scored was 74. So he was upping the scoring rate. 36 of 96, 36 of 74.
Yeah, it was relatively quicker.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I read one of our family members giving a message that Kohli's lack of scoring shots, he seems to be very constrained with the scoring. I think that will hurt him in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's just something that's always been, Virat Kohli's thing. Not that he has a lack of it. I'm just saying that's just his style of cricket.
Yeah. I mean, you remember Gilchrist, he just had three
proper
shots.
Yeah.
He had the pull, he had the sweep, and he had the drive. That's
Yet
it.
he was successful.
He was the greatest ever. So
He was someone who would have not been out of, let's say, place in modern day test and
No,
even white ball
yeah.
cricket. That's how great he was.
He was. So Kohli is the biggest positive, not for the runs that he got, because of the mental space that
He seems to be in a better mental space.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Because even in his lean patch, what happened was that, okay, you could see he was aggressive, but something was bogging him down.
You could see he
It
was
wasn't-
bogged down by the pressure.
Yeah.
It wasn't aggression. I think it was stress and just frustration that was coming out.
Peak best example was what he did to Johnny Bairstow in that one-off test.
Yeah.
Sledged him uselessly, and then Bairstow was like,
Yeah.
okay.
But again, if you look at the other thing, what was the other sledge that he was about to do? I mean, for example, when he did not get the century, when he took those catches in the IPL, you would see he was pumped up, he was aggressive. He thought, okay, maybe Kohli is a team player. But then clearly it was an indication that he is not in that mental space. And remember, when he played that shot against Punjab Kings, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
That was a sign he was shot. But now here he's laughing, he's been the practical joker that he is, and
He seems in a better headspace.
I think he's over it.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the biggest. Forget the knock.
He's made his peace with it.
Yeah, forget the knock. I think
Yeah.
the knock, it was expected that Virat will do it, and now that he's in that zone where failure might be a rarity. Of course, World Test Championship final, he got out to a good ball in the first innings, but he played a terrible shot in that second innings.
Second innings was bad.
Let us make. I mean, I am sorry to offend Virat Kohli fans, but that shot not needed.
And then again, I can say that about the entire batting lineup.
Yeah, but then as I mentioned even that time also,
Yeah.
Kohli by that instinct, because he wants to dominate, he will chase it. That's why. So 4 big positives that
Well,
we
we have one more, you can say, if you really have to go down that route. I mean, you made a winning start to the WT series.
Oh yes.
of course.
Was there ever any doubt?
No, but it's still.
Yeah, it is. It is 12
Points.
Yeah.
Point
crucial points, 12 crucial and easy points that we have got. I have to say it easy because
Yeah, it was.
West Indies did not even put up a fight.
Once they were out for 150 on the first day, you knew what a cakewalk this was.
Yep. Imagine it was like a heavyweight absolutely battering a light cruiserweight.
Yeah.
That was how I think that's the wrestling parlance, right?
Not
Heavyweight and
necessarily a cruiserweight.
cruiserweight.
In this case, they were probably featherweights
Featherweights. Exactly. I mean, 500 pounds.
versus 150.
150. I mean,
Which is ironic because they got 150.
WWE, maybe Big
Show
Show versus Rey Mysterio. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the clash. But Mysterio at least was agile.
Yeah, these guys weren't that either.
They weren't even that. So, very, very disappointing in that sense. So
But yeah,
Five-
good 12 good points really for India.
Yep.
You always want, and I think considering this year you have what? 2 major away test series, the South Africa and West Indies. South Africa will be a bit of more of a challenge,
Yep.
if being fair to them.
Yeah.
So I think you should in fact be looking to get whatever points you can here, maximum points.
Yeah.
Ideally go 2-0, get the 24 points. start
because your 6 series in this cycle are 2 West Indies, 2 South Africa, 5
Home and away.
at home in England, 2 away.
Against England, even.
Yeah. 5 home tests against
well.
England,
And that will be really key.
Yeah.
Those 5.
5 away to Australia,
And those.
3 home to New Zealand, 2 home to Bangladesh.
Yes.
That is your ICC cycle. So
Should we
let's
take
take
some
some questions. Yeah, why isn't anyone focusing on Vikram Rathore? Batting
Says Raj.
averages have gone down abysmally, says Raj from the US.
I mean, look, they have, but I don't think a batting coach is going to magically make batsmen better. At this point, you have to remember
Yeah.
one thing: these guys are international level players. They don't need coaching.
Yeah, they just have to manage them. But yeah, you looked at the cycle in 21-23, the batting averages compared to Australia, they were in
Were
the
really down.
mid-30s.
Yeah.
Those guys are into the mid-50s. Labuschagne, Smith, Khwaja.
And that's because they get
And
better
head.
conditions really at home for batters.
Your question's answered. You can't fire Vikram Rathore or you cannot scrutinize him much because the conditions have been bad.
You've been giving Gadda wickets at home.
Politely.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Giving those horrible wickets at home. I don't
Yeah.
expect the batsmen to do too much over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because look at the conditions in Australia, the conditions that they've had in the 4 test series. Barring the 4th,
Allahabad.
every test.
Sorry, Ahmedabad.
3 tests all ended in 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.5.
In fact, every time it was coming down slightly, the time needed to end it. It was like 2.75
I mean,
days, then 2.5.
one of our guys in the entire 12 days of the test series hardly got to see 2
at work.
at work.
Okay.
Harshit was off for the first 3 days of the first test.
The test ended.
Gone.
Then he had a week off in Delhi. When he came back, it's over. Even in Indore,
I think he felt sick in
he
middle.
felt sick.
There we go.
He
Nice.
couldn't see. When he came to Ahmedabad, only 3 days.
Okay.
And even that was that, what do you call, horrible pitch, which was so batter friendly that anyone would have gotten runs.
Yep.
So, more questions?
So, Mr. Fact is like saying, can you tell me if Rituraj will be playing in Asiads? Why is he not picked in T20 versus WI? But somehow he managed to find a place in the ODIs.
Good
Very
question.
perplexing.
If I found half the things about recent team selections, be it men's or
Yeah.
women's teams, very perplexing.
But
Very
yes,
hard to figure
yeah.
out what, the motive they have.
Exactly. Rituraj not in the WI T20Is, but he's there in the
ODIs.
in the Asiad.
Yeah.
And he's captaining.
And
he's not just
captain.
there.
But he's not here.
Captain. Yeah.
Yep.
Why-
Very perplexing. But I
What
think
is the message you're trying to send?
in the video that all of us did yesterday, I think the consensus was whoever is picked in the Asiad, they are not in the fray for the ODI World
Obviously.
Cup in any which way.
Obviously.
Arshdeep, the case was Arshdeep.
Yeah.
That tested
Yeah.
that theory.
But Ashdeep, if I'm not wrong, has not been picked in the ODI squad for the West Indies series either.
That's sad.
So I don't think they're looking at him as an ODI bowler right
So
now.
basically,
It's
you're
weird.
only going to play no left armers. The dark horse could be Jaidev Unadkat in the ODI World Cup. Exactly, a rock and a hard place. That's the situation.
I would rather go for the Rock because the Rock is Arshdeep, who's a youngster.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Dex is like saying, but this question is directed to Shane. Do you remember James Allen's commentary? He was the face of the commentary in the V6 era.
I don't think, see, because in India we got very different broadcasts.
Yeah.
James Allen is an F1 commentator, in case you're wondering. But I have, in fact, read 2 books of his because he wrote 2 books on Michael Schumacher. One was Driven to Extremes, which is basically it covered the 98-99 seasons of his in Ferrari, and he also wrote like an autobiography proper, not an autobiography, a biography proper on Schumacher after his first retirement in 2006. So I've read both those books, and Alan, he's a pretty good writer. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would remember him on commentary.
Basically, we started getting our live feeds around the V8 era. V8.
Yeah, exactly.
96 onwards was a V8.
Later than that, you can say. V6s were still run at that point in time.
Okay.
I think V8s came in the early 2000s.
Okay, because we would get commentary from Murray Walker and James Hunt.
Yeah, but then that was early days. Then later on, if you remember, you had Star and ESPN who would have F1, and then you had Steve Slater and Chris Goodwin.
That was 97 to 2000.
The mid 2000s.
Yeah,
I remember. Because that's when I
brilliant.
started watching.
Yeah.
Not just 2003, 2004-5 also. I remember them on commentary.
Oh yes, they were on comms. Yep.
So you had those guys. Now, of course, you get the world feed. So
Yeah, I don't watch F1 TV because it doesn't have David Croft in it.
it does. You have to switch. So they have 2 feeds. They have the F1 TV feed, but right below they have a world option. So I always expect
the world feed.
Yeah, the world feed will have Croft and Martin Tyler and all
Brundle,
these guys.
right?
Yeah, Brundle. Sorry, not Martin Tyler. That's
Yeah,
football.
what
Very
are
confused.
you
Sorry.
saying?
No, too much Sky. No, but Martin Tyler is also.
Tyler's
Sky.
the one. Aguero.
Yeah, that's Martin Tyler.
That's Tyler. Okay.
There's
Okay.
a super chat, I believe.
Yeah, there was one more super chat. I
Yeah.
think we'll take that, and I think we can call it
A day.
a day.
An evening.
Yeah. Disagree. Vikram introduced the throwdowns. No one practices against spins since they don't play Ranji.
But he didn't
we
introduce
don't-
the throwdowns. Everyone in the
Yeah.
world uses throwdowns.
We've been cricketers do it since they were this
Ah,
small.
wait.
Yeah, and we don't know if they're practicing against Ranji or not just because they don't play.
But where is the time to play Ranji?
No, you have a packed calendar. It's
But the
impossible.
fact that he's saying that no one practices against spin since
Wrong.
they don't
They do
play
practice
Ranji,
against spin.
And
how
Raj,
do you know that?
let me tell you, there was a push, remember, in 2012 that let us change all our pitches, let us make it space friendly. Spin friendly was taken off the track totally.
Yeah, spin friendly.
Now
started
you've
coming
got pace. That's why your pacers are flourishing. Where is spin? After Ashwin or Jadeja, who's your next best spinner?
There are spinners in the domestic,
For example, I can only look at Dharmendra Singh Jadeja.
but they don't,
They're not.
Like a Jalaj never got a chance.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not grooming. them.
Another, if you have been harsh and say, oh, why Sarfaraz hasn't gotten, I think the biggest guy who's never gotten a chance is Jalaj Saxena.
Yeah,
And he was perfect fit for like an off spinner who you needed in case of a backup.
And also a decent bat.
Yeah, he's an all-rounder. He's a bowling
Shams
all-rounder.
Mulani.
Shams Mulani, Dharmendra Singh Jadeja, all. And in fact, Dharmendra Singh Jadeja took 5 wickets in the Tulip Trophy final.
Exactly.
So you
Who's your next spinner?
You're not giving anyone, or you're not grooming anyone. Your white ball spinners aren't really in this, like Kuldeep.
Yeah.
Plays one test match, then goes disappearing for ages. I don't understand the logic there either.
That's the problem.
Didn't he get like a 5 or 6 wicket haul in the last test match he played? Bangladesh.
He got 5 in, as I said, that worked against him. Whenever he takes a 5 wicket haul, he gets sidelined.
dropped.
That's the thing.
And by the way, he's one wrist spinner you have who's actually shown a willingness to play test cricket. You still don't play him.
And he does well in the Sena countries, away from India.
Remember when he was named India's #1 spinner in overseas conditions?
By a
He
certain-
Ravi Shastri named him the #1 spinner. He didn't play a test after that. Never mind overseas conditions.
The perplexing thing, but yeah, we are supposed to be doing positives, no negatives.
No negatives.
Yeah.
What have we done?
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
But the
leave that
truth
aside.
hurts, yes.
Yeah,
So-
let's take a couple more of the normal ones.
Couple more normal, and then we.
Then we call it a day /
an
evening, whatever.
Evening,
Yep.
night, live.
Sir, in Asian Games, what's the fault of Tewatia? Yeah, there is no AB Tewatia there, and Nitish Rana. But
I
where
mean,
is the
look, see, with Rana, I can tell you the main reason probably is because he has a very obvious weakness against short pitch bowling. Although I don't think that's going to come into play in this Asian
in
game.
China that too?
No, but again, if Rana was picked, that means there would have been no Rinku.
No, I would argue if Rinku was picked, there's no place for Tewatia.
Tewatia, I don't think is seen in the scheme of things anyway.
Rinku anyway
debate.
same, no. A left-hander batting at number 5 or 6 finisher. So Rinku was better than Tewatia.
A better option because he's younger.
Yeah.
I think Tewatia is what, 30, 31?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Whereas Rinku's 25.
All I would have wanted AB Tewatia, but still.
Vignesh Konar is saying, going by recent updates,
Heavy revenue from broadcast rights, the IOC will approve cricket Olympics because it's looking very likely. It is, look...
It needs two things.
Yeah.
Basically, if the revenue is generating is high, that is one factor. It depends on the organizing committee in that particular place. If they deem that yes, it will get to lot
It'll
of
add
footfalls,
value. Yeah.
which is why cricket, if not in 2028, very high probability that might come in 2032. Why? Brisbane. Brisbane, Australia, maybe that's where you may get. Los Angeles also has a good chance because looking at the foray how cricket is making in America
MLC.
with the MLC and also a lot of stadium upgrades have been done in Los Angeles and in New York and in Miami.
Yeah, Los Angeles has a team, the Los Angeles Knight Riders.
Yeah.
So they've got a team there in LA as well.
So 2028, this is one factor. The other one is the organizing committee. That's the way. While these two are playing their own cricket match here, I think we can call it a day.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can.
can.
West Indies, Shane is obviously the West Indies, he dropped the ball a lot of times, and Gargi is India, so Gargi dominates in just one go. So that's about it for this edition of the Dugout. Sorry, in the previous that we had
At least this time there were no issues with the stream, though.
Yeah.
Praise the heavens.
There was an outage, so thank you so much. And for people in Delhi, please be safe in
Travel
Delhi NCR. Yeah, travel safely
Or
because
Do not go to sightseeing, the flooding or don't do that.
Yeah.
don't do that. And we are gearing up for two major events. One is Ozheba versus Marketa Ondruskova. That is the one final which is currently going on.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we have got Dulip Trophy final and the massive one Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz. We are building up to Ashes, which is in the next 3 days. India West Indies on the 20th, which is Thursday.
Which we are also building up to.
Which we will, obviously. So from me, Shane and Gargi here, it's bye-bye. Stay safe. Thank you. Vanakkam.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.